Not all events in history are well documented, but that doesn't mean they should be forgotten. 'Twas the year of 1959. I had been assigned by my superiors to investigate the movements of the Euro Polytechnical Institute. There were rumours of an incident that occurred in the Northern Ural Mountains, and that the EPI had sent a rescue operation to the site. My first assumption was that this was a hoax, most likely a cover-up for a smuggling. I couldn't have been more wrong. What they discovered would send the whole area into lockdown for the next 4 months. On February 26th, searchers found the remnants of a badly damaged tent. Later on, I was informed that this tent belonged to the missing group of students from the institute. So, the institute was just a common university. The tent was half torn down and covered in snow. It was empty, but all the group's belongings and shoes had been left behind. Further examination shows that it was ripped open from the inside out, along with a set of footprints leading towards the neighbouring woods. It wasn't long before they found the bodies. The first 2 were found at the edge of a forest, near a makeshift fire. Another 3 corpses were discovered in poses, suggesting that they tried to make it back to the tent. All 5 bodies have been confirmed to have died from hypothermia, although one of the first 2 had been found at the base of a tree with fractures, supposedly from trying to climb it. No single theory from that point could explain why these hikers had left their encampment in such a fright. 4 of the 9 students were yet to be uncovered, so the search was put in a standstill. I had no idea what possessed me at this point, but I wanted to see the site for myself. I ventured out around the middle of the night to the location of the tent. Slipping past the security, I then followed the trail to the makeshift fire, and then to the location of the 3 dead bodies, which had obviously been removed at this point. I ventured on a bit further into the woods. It was a cold night, and it was snowing lightly. I regretted not wearing my gloves before I set out. I rubbed my hands together and shielded them in my arms. I then started shivering uncontrollably, despite my full set of hiking gear. Suddenly, I felt extremely cold, as if I was pinched between 2 enormous pillars of ice. In a panic, I sought shelter from the sudden danger of the icy winds. I ran deeper into the forest, not even caring where I was going. Finally, I lost all sense of direction and slowed to a halt. I found it difficult to remember what happened next. I remember I was cold, tired, scared, and very alone. The next thing I remember was face down on the ground outside of my accommodation. That was the last push I needed. I never went back to the pass. I then typed up and filed a report that I knew was bullshit, and I tried to get on with my life. 2 months later, I heard intel that the remaining bodies had been found 75 meters deeper into the forest from the second location. The corpses had been discovered with major wounds, fractures, and signs of struggle. Even one of the victims had been found with her eyes and tongue missing, with hints that they were removed when the victim was still alive. The mountain area where the incident had taken place had been renamed Dyatlov Pass after the supposed leader of the group. What could have happened to scare these students so much? I try not to think about it. I was no longer part of this investigation. But when the wind rattles the shutters of my dacha, I remember the tortured faces of the last 4 students with their dead, cold eyes. And that, my friends, is why I drink.